Alrighty, guys. I'm Morthadon, bringing you guys Promised Neverland, episode 5. So it was just for me. I guess it works out because for me, yesterday I watched episode 4, which saying that is fine because by the time I upload this video, technically it'll be true for you guys too, but to put that into context, today is Thursday. I watched Promised Neverland episode 4 on Wednesday and got it all uploaded and everything for Thursday. And now Thursday is when episode 5 came out, so now I'm watching episode 5 and you guys are going to see it on Friday. Um Anyway, not like any of that matters. You guys see it when you see it, and it doesn't really matter. Whatever. So I want to apologize for last reaction, where I kind of missed a few text lines that were pretty relevant to the story. I think I was. What happened was I was trying to think of theories while I was reading the subtitles, and I kind of like got lost in my theories in my head a little bit too much. And I missed the line about what like when they were escaping, which got fixed for me. I think you guys saw it in the reaction. They did mention it again, so I got that cleared up for me during the episode. But one thing I missed that was pretty crucial to my reaction was I missed when Norman, like I knew Norman was setting up a trap for for Gilda and Dawn, but he, I missed where he said he's putting them in two different places. That's the big thing that I missed. So I apologize for that. I should have noticed that right away, and then it would have been more clear. Like I would have been less confused when, that ending happened, where he accused Ray. But anyway, we left off in the last episode with Ray being accused of being a traitor, which makes a lot more sense now, after I thought about it, with the whole conversation between Emma of like, if someone was working for the demons to save themselves, would you still want to save them? Because I think at that time Norman had suspicions, obviously, because that's why he set up that trap for Ray, and that's why he said that. And I also think that's why I think Emma's response is why Norman confronted Ray, because Norman didn't have to be like, "So you're the traitor, Ray." He could have like gave him false information and stuff, and like let him along, and just kept that going for a while, because Ray had no idea. Ray just figured Norman would suspect Dawn, and until Norman came out and said that. But I think because Emma said that she wants to save everybody regardless, that convinced Norman that he needs to like confront Ray and like hear his reasoning and everything. That's my thoughts. And then I also had a wild theory. I'm almost 100% sure this isn't going to happen, and I'm going to be pretty mad if it does. But there's an anime trope where, like, they'll leave off, and usually it's over, like, a commercial break where someone will come up with a wild accusation and then just say, "just kidding," after. And it happens in a lot of, like, with kids and stuff. So if it starts off with like "just kidding," that would suck. But I don't think it will, because I'm pretty sure the way Norman set that up would be that it wouldn't make sense that he'd say "just kidding," right? Like, it's already confirmed. The only way it wouldn't be confirmed is if he really did off-screen tell Dawn and Gilda where those locations were, and then it really could be Dawn. But that basically that whole theory doesn't really work out. It's pretty dumb. It was just an extra little thing I thought of last episode. But like I said, I'm nearly 100% sure that's not going to be the case. Ray really is a traitor. Now we just got to know why he is a traitor. We got to get the reasoning behind it. because he could have very noble reasons. Maybe he doesn't think this, like, he's expressed throughout the whole show that he doesn't think this plan is gonna work, and I think that's why he might have done it, because he doesn't believe this plan is gonna work, and he believes that he's like, I think he thinks everyone's gonna die because of the actions of Norman and Emma. So maybe he's trying to work out a different kind of deal with the demons, with Mom and everything. Um, and that's why he's doing it. Or it could be completely selfish reasons, and he just wants to save himself. Like, he doesn't care about anybody else, and that's that. But we're gonna find out in this episode, hopefully. So without further ado, guys, alrighty, so we are gonna click the right button. Alright, we're gonna start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. Alrighty. Right into the opening again. Maybe it always did this. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't remember. It did this last episode. I love this intro so much. It's got like a cinematic border around it too, which I think kind of looks cool. I'm gonna take a sip of my water real fast. I wonder if that's why Ray is red in the trailer. Or opening, not trailer, but... like, they're all kind of, like, hued a different color, and Ray is red. It makes me wonder if it's foreshadowing, because red is usually, like, the traitorous color kind of thing. I'd love to see them outside the wall, like, surviving with some of these moves that they're doing in the opening. Just, like, running, like, that's obviously their specialty, because they're just kids, but... oh, whoa. Alright. The camera work in this show is interesting sometimes. I like it, though. Ain't you gonna try to play it off? Got him. Damn, so he didn't even bother to check. Got him. Alright. I'm still waiting for the reason. I feel like they're misdirecting us with making him seem evil. It's true. Hmm. Damn. So was Ray interesting? Damn. Is that true? So Ray was. So is Ray being raised to be like another like leader in the future? Maybe. I suppose that is a solution. But what Emma said, right? Yep, I knew it. Not that was too hard to figure out, but so Ray, what's your response gonna be? Interesting. It's true, I suppose. How did he figure it out, though? I'm curious. Hmm. Alright, yeah, that makes sense. Considering she hasn't turned them in yet. Is that stuff that he's gonna, like, put together? Ooh. That says a lot right there. Why is he acting so crazy, though? I think it's a misdirect, but I don't know. Alright, what's this condition, though? Ooh. So in a sense, he is kind of just saving himself, because yeah, he does think that everyone else is going to be a burden except for like the people actually able to leave, which is true, but Emma's never going to leave them all behind. Norman, you're not going to be able to convince her. Well, I guess they said pretend up until the last minute and then ditch them, so he doesn't have to convince her, actually. My bad about that. I didn't really catch on to that. So, is he acting like that because he got his way? Or is he acting like... It's very weird. I don't know if I like it, to be honest. I don't know if he's just smug or, like, has a different agenda. Norman realized something. And Ray realized something. I'm not good at picking up on those subtleties. $6 years. I want to know how he learned about everything. I wonder if the technology, well, not, he didn't say technology, but the stuff he asks for. I'm guessing he's dreaming. Dream sequence. Yeah, this is definitely a dream. They all got those flowers, huh? Ugh. Gross. Alright, so where do we go from here? So he never told... He just broke Emma. That was great. Hmm. I'm surprised that he told her, but I guess as long as they don't tell her the true objective. But yeah, so I was saying that they're still gonna be doing the escape in 10 days probably then, because he still hasn't mentioned that to Mom, at least on camera. Hmm. Must have been lonely. Is she gonna say something like that? Yeah. I wonder if over the course of the time Ray is gonna like warm up more to Emma and actually like save everyone. Ooh. I didn't think of that. True, they brought them into it, but hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like it's got to be unnerving for them to be left out of conversations like that when they're all supposed to be in it together now, you know? Very strange. Hmm. Is that the room that she was doing the conversation stuff in before? Because she was reporting to someone with some kind of like technology, or she was reporting to Grandma. That's what it was. Oh, that's why she was counting her steps in the last episode. I sometimes underestimate Emma. Like, I know she gets good grades, so she is smart, but she just acts like a dunce. So sometimes I treat her like that. They're gonna be like, how does he know that? Or did they already fill him in off camera? That's not a good idea. Even if you get in there, who are you gonna ask? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she crazy. Can't have Crone finding out anything. Don is a little too emotional, I think. He's like Emma on another level. Like, Emma's emotional, and I guess she was at first too, but he also was way closer to Connie. Oh, he's gonna do something dumb. Come on, Don. Who are you gonna talk to? Think it through, buddy. She's just standing, like, right there or something. That'd be funny. They have to pull out a book and it opens or something goofy. Is he gonna accidentally open it? Damn. I want that kind of secret door. This is too dramatic. It's gonna be one of them come to stop them, isn't it? Wow. That's how it ends? Really? Oh. I'm convinced. I don't believe it. That's that's a misdirect right there, if I ever saw one. Man. It was a good episode, but I don't think it was as exciting as some of the others. I'm gonna talk more about why in the discussion. Do do do. Do 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 do. All right. There's nothing. No, there's no way there's anything after that. Alrighty, guys. So that is the end of episode 5. Yeah. So what I was saying during the end credits, which is going to be cut out for you guys, is that was a good episode, but it did seem a little less exciting than some of the others because, uh, I guess we'll start off with the whole Ray thing because that's what we started with, and that was handled in a very, like, it was handled in a very obvious way, I'd say. They, it was kind of like what you'd expect, you know? Like, I thought, like, I guess there was a twist to it, but, so here's the thing. I kind of thought he'd have some, like, crazy reason of, like, wanting to save everyone to subvert my expectation of him just being, like, a little more selfish. But my main expectation was him saying something like him doing all this to save himself, which he pretty much did, except he's willing to take competent people with him. So I think in a way he does feel for the kids, but he knows their dead weight and doesn't care. And doesn't want to like risk it, I should say. He does care, but he doesn't want to risk it. And so the big twist on this was the fact that he's been working with Mom for 6 years. And not just, like, from the time he discovered this. So my question is, how did Ray find out about, the monsters and this whole situation in the first place? Like, he must have seen something he shouldn't have, right? Because there's no way, like, a kid would just, like, assume that, right? If anyone would pick up on it, it'd be Norman. That something's fishy. So I think Ray somehow found out about the monsters and, like, hatched this plan a long time ago. And so far, it does seem like he's telling the truth. As long as Norman, so the plan is, they're gonna, I don't know if they're still gonna keep the same date. So in 10 days, they're gonna, if they keep the same date, in 10 days, they're gonna try to escape. Except at the last minute, they're gonna ditch everyone. But I don't know how they're gonna do that. I guess the way I picture it in my mind is they're all gonna get to the wall, and the competent people are gonna go over, and they're just gonna go, maybe. But the thing is Emma is gonna refuse to leave without the others first, and Norman is gonna have to tell her, no, we're just going. And either, I guess Norman's gonna have the choice of leaving Emma behind, which he's never gonna do, or abandoning his word to Ray, which, once they're at that point, like, what can Ray do, really? Like, if they're at the point of escaping, if the trackers are already off, and they're climbing over the wall, what does Ray have that can prevent Norman from just saving everyone? Unless they're gonna leave and go to the wall without everybody else. But how are they gonna get Emma there? Because there's no way Norman's leaving without Emma. We can all tell that Norman loves Emma, right? Or at least, you know, likes her. You know, they're probably too young for, like, love or whatever, but, you can definitely tell that Norman wouldn't leave Emma behind, but how are they gonna get Emma there is the big question without the other kids. So I don't know how that plan is gonna fully play out, but obviously something is gonna go awry because of how Ray wants it to be done. But I think something I kept trying to say during the episode and it never, like, came out, because I kept getting distracted by dialogue, because there's a lot of dialogue in this show, so sometimes it's hard for me to, because I can't really talk about theories and to read, and I don't want to miss anything. But I kept trying to say that Ray, is getting this technology as a reward for spying. I guess, I said that twice now. Forget the technology, he's getting these items. And they said, like, older models, and it made me think technology, but, first of all, he said it's always been older models. So, it definitely doesn't 100% mean the outside world is, like, screwed. But it does lead you to believe that, right? Like, if everything's older models, that means no newer models are being made because it's like a post-apocalypse scenario out there with all those demons and everything. So that's interesting. That says a lot about the world. It's I feel like that's a very important part of this episode, which is cool because it's one of our first hints to the outside world's, like, condition. And that's what I'm really interested in with this show, is I want to know more about the outside world. I love, like, the whole post-apocalyptic exploring type idea, and there's not a lot of animes that do it. So it's very interesting to me. So I think that might actually be the highlight. Like that one little information note was like the highlight of the episode for me. But anyway, so I'm not sure. We had that moment with Ray looking at the poster of the three, like the drawing of the three kids together, which either is supposed to be them or he represented it as them. And he's like, his angry face was like, I think him being kind of angry at himself, maybe. Um, like, I think he does, like, I think part of him does hate himself a little bit for what he plans to do, like, ditching all the kids except for, Emma, Norman, Gilda, and Don. Um, but to him, this is something he has to do, and maybe that's why he had that reaction. And then I have no idea about Norman. Norman was, like, frightened, which makes sense because this development could ruin everything. But then it was like he realized something and he had like a brief smile. And that makes me believe that he came up with something, but I don't know what he came up with. So I'm very curious as to what's up with that. Unfortunately, I'm not that good at taking like those subtle like emotions and putting it into like his mindset, like what he could have came up with. So I'm not really sure what he was thinking. But we also had the development where Ray told Emma, and Emma thought of something that I don't think Norman asked or was brought up, but if he was figuring out how to break these and he knows for sure that he can break them, oh, fuck. I was talking about the items that Ray came in again, and I completely forgot about, like, the main point. I wonder if those items is him, like, because they said he's good at tinkering. I wonder if that's him coming up with, like, a device that can neutralize the trackers. That's like the whole thing I was trying to get out the entire episode, and then in the discussion I tried to get it out too, and then I got sidetracked by talking about like the older model stuff in like the world and everything. But yeah, I'm assuming that's why he was asking for those items, is because he's like, piecing them together into something that can nullify the trackers. That's my theory anyway. It might be completely obvious, like that might not even be a theory. That it might just be like a given. But okay, so what else was oh yeah. So yeah, Emma thought of something that no one else did, which was, or maybe no one else wanted to say, which was Ray must have tried it on other kids, and if the trackers break, maybe they just like send those kids off to be eaten. Like, Ray never answered the question, but by his reaction, I think we can kind of assume that, like, that is what happened. Like, he sent off, like, who knows how many kids to be eaten just so they can find out, this information. In 1 second, I'm about to cough. Alright. Sorry about that, excuse me. And, I feel like I might have to again, but we'll see if I can make it or not. But yeah, so where else was I going with this? We had Dawn and Gilda feeling a bit left out, but I kind of see why they're left out now, because Gilda doesn't have a backbone at all. She just follows people around and does whatever, because she followed Dawn even though she was saying, like, it's not a good idea. She doesn't have the backbone to, like, do things herself. And then Dawn is too headstrong. He just, like, doesn't think things through. Which I thought, I was very understanding of his emotional side because he was closer to Connie than anyone else. I believe, if I remember correctly, in like the first episode, he was like always with her. But that doesn't, in my opinion, like, once again, I know they're kids, but in my opinion, you can't let your emotions in this kind of situation get the better of you, or you're just gonna die. And he needs to keep a level head, and he obviously isn't, because he just walked into mom's room and started looking for this room, which is not gonna benefit him at all. Like, regardless of whether, because I know he doesn't know that Connie is dead, but regardless of whether Connie is alive or dead, the situation isn't gonna help him. Like, going in there, like Norman, or like Ray, I think Ray or Norman said it, that they are connected to, that they are connected to the, whatchamacallit, connected to the headquarters. I don't know why it took me so long to think of that. I just, like, had a brain fart there. But it's most likely only connected to the headquarters, and you're just gonna reveal yourself if you try to contact headquarters. Like, I guess you might get mom in trouble. Like, that's the best case scenario, is they go in there and they use the communication stuff to talk to someone, and the people there are like, what the hell? Why are your kids figuring out how to use the technology stuff? And, or like, why'd they find this stuff? And mom would have to try to explain. And so best case scenario, they get mom in trouble. Worst case scenario, mom catches them, or the people on the radio just tell mom that they were there, and now they just get shipped off. But regardless of that, at the last scene where we had a nice little cliffhanger, we had the door opening very slowly and very ominously, and I feel like it's a big misdirect to make us think, oh no, they're gonna be captured, but it's really gonna be like Norman or Ray or Emma, or more than one of them, coming in because they assumed this is what would happen, and like talk them down and get them to leave. That's my thought. But one thing that just came to my mind that I could picture happening in, like, a lot of these situations where you're like playing these games behind someone's back, is they leave a clue behind by accident. So I'm thinking Norman and, or whoever comes in, talks them down, gets them to leave, and they try to get the door, or they try to get the bookcase back to where it was, but they don't get it back fully. Like, maybe they leave it, like, cracked a tiny bit or something. And next episode, we're gonna see mom, like, go in there and look at that spot and notice, and just, like, be pissed. I could see something like that happening, because that's kind of like, that's not even, like, an anime trope. That's just, like, a trope that any show does, right? Like, when people are trying to, like, sneak behind another person's back. But yeah, and it very well could be mom, of course, coming in, and they could just be fucked, Like, we don't know how this story wants to do with its characters, because we haven't had another death yet. So it could be one of those shows where they want everyone to live, but there's also a lot of characters, and the two characters that are in the situation aren't one of the three main ones. So they could easily just have them killed to prove a point. And that could be the case. I just get this vibe that they amped up that door opening so much just to give us a cliffhanger of who it is, and it's just a misdirected not really being mom. But we'll see in the next episode, guys. I think that's all I have to say about this episode. Not much else happened, right? We had the whole conversation with Ray, which I touched on, about, like, his motivations and everything of being a spy. And then we had Ray telling Emma and Emma's reaction and everything. And then we had Ray talking to Mom, and we had his view of it this time, and he didn't reveal anything important to show that he's like not really like trying to escape. Um and then we had the whole Norman and Ray part where like Ray realized something and got angry and Norman realized something and smiled. But I don't really know for sure what those two things are, but I touched base on those. And then we had the ending bit where they talked about the secret room, and then Dawn just went right up to it. And then the cliffhanger. I don't think there was. I guess if there's something I missed, I either forget about it or I didn't deem it worthy enough to talk about. One of the two. But yeah, guys. So I think that's just gonna do it. I think I covered most of everything I wanted to talk about. So I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction, and we'll be back again next week for episode 6. And I'm glad I was able to catch up on this, because now, I'm able to talk to my friends about it, because we're all theorizing together, which is why at the start of the video I talk about a little more theories, because me and my friends talk about stuff after, like basically after I get done with this. I'm probably going to talk to my friend about, you know, everything I talked about in this video, I'm gonna bring up to my friend too. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.